Hello, I'm really glad that you're watching this video. I think it's appropriate that I'm recording it sitting in Lusaka in Zambia. There's no way that I could possibly have imagined when I started to feel a deep sense of call to ordained ministry at the age of 14 that I would end up with the enormous privilege of representing our Anglican Church in Aotearoa, New Zealand and Polynesia and all sorts of different parts of the world. That I'd have the opportunity to engage with people at every level of society, both at home and around the world, and that in particular I would have the opportunity to listen and to understand the challenges being faced by Anglican leaders across the world. But it was early in my teenage years that I first started to feel God calling me into ordained ministry. When I look back at it, I think the greatest influence was just the kindness of the parish priest of the time, a man called Peter Heath. Peter recognised that I had lots of questions, and although some of those questions must have seemed to him rather silly, I never ever had the feeling that he thought so. He treated every question I had with enormous respect. And the result of that was that I started to understand that faith was not about accepting something blindly, but that faith really was quite an adventure. I've come to understand it's more an experience, it's more something of the heart than of the mind. But if understanding is that combination of heart and mind, then I've come to understand that my life has meaning and purpose because I'm loved. And I think that for me is foundational to my sense of vocation, that I am loved by God, that I'm created for a purpose, and that purpose is to be part of a church that's committed to introducing others to the certain knowledge that they're loved, that they have a place, that they have purpose, they have meaning, that their lives are intended for flourishing. Now that fundamental core of vocation is what's placed before all Christians. By virtue of our baptism, we're called into that mission, that reconciling mission of God, reconciling the whole of humanity, indeed the whole of creation with God's purposes. It means that the scope, the breadth of Christian discipleship and ministry is as wide as the whole of creation. We need to be passionate about the world that God's given us to care for and to ensure is in a fit purpose, in a fit state for those who follow us to receive. It's God's intention that we should be passionately concerned about the least, the lost and the last, that we should be passionately committed to justice and to the establishment of God's new community, the kingdom of God on earth. Now, that is the call, the vocation of every Christian person. And within that, to be called into a particular ministry, an ordained ministry as a deacon or as a priest or indeed as a bishop, is being called into a particular function, a particular mode of leadership and of living out the Christian life. Those in ordained ministry are called to hold before the whole church the particular charisms of service, of worship, and of recognizing in the sacrament the real presence of God in Jesus Christ, and the charism of oversight and leadership. So I hope as you explore your own sense of call, you'll feel that same sense of excitement and purpose and joy that has fundamentally been the gift that I've experienced throughout my life. It's that amazing, almost indescribable joy of knowing that I'm precious to God, my life matters to God, and that the most important thing I can do in response to that love is to reach out to others as an expression of the love that God has for them. So bless your journey, and thank you for listening. God bless.